Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. We're going to do this $5 draft on Underdog. It's a community draft, and we're going to be giving away a Best Ball Mania 2 ticket to one of you. So leave a reply down below with your screen name on Underdog, and I'll pick one of you guys at random a week from now. Let's do 3 days from now. From the time that this video gets posted, and one of you guys is going to be picked randomly to win a BBM ticket. You can maybe have a chance to win $1 million by the end of this season. Draft's gonna start. Let's go.
He's a legend.
All right, so we're doing a community draft here. The draft starts in about 40 seconds. Drafting against my Twitch community. So if you have not checked out the stream over on Twitch, be sure that you head on over there, or you can become a channel member here on YouTube. Remember, enter that giveaway. Click something down below. We do have a Discord channel. There is a link down below in the description that you can join that Discord channel. It's a partnered channel. We have 5,000-6,000 people in there, always talking about daily fantasy, season long, sports cards, Top Shot, Zed Run horses, fantasy basketball, MLB, whatever you can imagine. We have a fantastic community that runs year round. The only way to get into those locked rooms is to be a channel member on YouTube or a Twitch subscriber. So do what you got to do. Hopefully we'll see you in Discord. First round pick, got the first pick in the first round. A whole lot going on there. This is not a BBM draft. This is a sit and go draft. So correlation is important, but not as important. You know, like your eggs don't all have to be in one basket to win a 12-man league. They just don't. Pretty standard start. All right, I kind of have some ideas of what I want to do. I'm going to start here with Alvin Kamara. And it was a toss-up for me between Kamara and Zeke for this pick. So picking 4, I kind of have an idea of what should fall to me and where. I won't be queuing up anybody because, as I said, we're streaming this live on Twitch. If you have never stopped by the stream, I stream most days during the week during August, Monday through Friday. And then during the football season, we are full on 6 days a week, Monday through Friday and Sunday mornings with the Anti-Tinkercast. So a pretty standard start. Ezekiel, so I won't be queuing up players like I would in a normal draft. Like I'm always queuing up players, but like I'm sure I'm going to get sniped. Like the community knows who I like. They know who I'm on and where I like to pick players because we've talked about it a lot. So they are going to make this pretty painful for me. This is usually our community's cage match with me, where it's not about getting the best players. It's about inflicting as much pain on the streamer as you possibly can. I expect that at this point. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this draft kind of plays out. I'm going to try and do my thing to the best of my abilities. Last year, you can go back and watch the one from last year, and obviously it is August the 5th when we're doing this draft, so a lot of things can change. We've already had a bunch of injuries, the Colts especially. This was the range right here, 1-8 through 111, where Jonathan Taylor had been going. It's going to be really interesting to see how far Taylor falls, with both Wentz out for 8 to 12 weeks from now, and Quentin Nelson, the anchor of that offensive line, also now injured with basically the same injury that he doesn't have. So, like, that's going to hurt Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, there were already some question marks with Taylor. We expected him to get a ton of volume this year, but obviously Marlon Mack coming back, Nyheim Hines still taking some of the pass game work, moving from Phillip Rivers, who throws to his running backs like more than any other quarterback in the league, to Carson Wentz beforehand. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be right now. If Rivers comes out of retirement, that might change our view on Jonathan Taylor. He might bounce a little bit, get a little dead cat bounce. Everything kind of going according to plan here. Nothing shocking right now. The biggest change in ADP in the first round recently, aside from Jonathan Taylor, has been the Packers. So Devontae Adams was going mid-second round, and Aaron Jones was going late second round in most drafts, with Aaron Rodgers now back on the team instead of, oh, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Those guys have rocketed an entire round up, which is a massive, massive, massive thing. Big moves. It's hard to move from like the 2-8 to the 1-6. You know, like that's a lot of movement in there. Barkley and Eckler at the turn for Squaz. AJ Brown going to Jay Steele. Nook Hopkins to Deadhead. I'm interested to see how much stacking goes on in this draft from top to bottom. Because it is not a tournament. This is a standalone sit and go league. As I was saying before, I'm sorry, I get really distracted. This version of this draft from last season, if you go back a year, it was the 0 RB draft, and like everyone in the replies hated it. And it was like, I think I took Adams in the first round, and y'all went nuts on me. You went Adams, he sucks. And Adams was the biggest freaking difference. I think I won that league, looking back at it from last year. So I've always got the stance that no matter what league I draft, and I post a lot of them on Twitter, y'all are going to hate it. So it is what it is. I do these drafts, I post them because I know you guys are going to hate them. Nick Chubb going 2-6. Nick Chubb is he separates people. Edwards-Helaire and Kelsey. Racing Press going with a Chiefs stack. Not trying to blow up his spot, but I would be not shocked to see him draft Mahomes in the third. That's become a pretty standard draft recently. So to the people who take either Tyreek Hill or Kelsey in the first round, a lot of the time they go CEH in the second and then Mahomes in the third and get themselves a Chiefs stack. Gibson in the second. Taylor still on the board. There's no pick that I love here. There's absolutely no pick that I love here. And it's going to kind of force me to go and reach for somebody ahead of ADP because I don't want a second running back in that spot. I'd rather go wide receiver here. So I'm reaching for Keenan Allen in that spot. I could take Joe Mixon. Absolutely love his volume. And I know that I just put out this video on top stacks on the season. And then obviously I'm not the type to get take lock. Waller going there. It's been about where he's been going. Jonathan Taylor going at 211. I'm not the type to get take lock. So I'm not going to sit there and say, well, I said that I like Burrow's stack a lot and the Bengals stack a lot, and you should be stacking them in best ball. And then 4 days after that video comes out, there's evidence from camp showing, and the players and receivers are seeing it, that like Joe is being a little bit sketchy on his knee. George Kittle going to first round pick. So Mixon, Kittle, and CEH. I was going to take Kittle at 3-4. Just full disclosure. I was taking Kittle at 3-4. Squaz, didn't realize I was in the draft. Auto picked my first two. We're off to a roaring start. CeeDee Lamb, I hate everything. I hate you guys. Stop sniping me. Okay, Najee Harris. That was not a snipe. I love Terry McLaurin. First 3 rounds for me, Alvin Kamara, Terry McLaurin, and Keenan Allen. Week 7 bye week that's the bye. Every year there's a bye week that like crushes you. There's every year there's a bye week. So like, I think the Cowboys are week 7, the Chargers are week 7, the Jaguars are week 7. Like there's a lot of dudes that you end up wanting to take. Told you. I'm like the Tyrion Lannister of underdog drafts. I draft and I know things. Miles Sanders at 3-7. Now, I got Miles Sanders. I'm not saying that that's a reach. Okay? It is ahead of ADP, as you can see. ADP of 46, going at 31 here in this draft. he's been sliding. A lot of running backs have been sliding on Underdog throughout the last month and a half, as people are realizing that the earlier you draft, and I draft a lot of early drafts, the more you should probably wait on running backs, unless because of the massive fragility that exists at the position. And one little thing can change a whole lot for those running backs. There's less fragility with wide receivers. They're less likely to get injured than running backs. There's less turnover. Their volumes are more secure, or their volume is more secure. Their volume, one target is worth 2.8 carries. So like, hey, I got a guy that's going to get 20 carries. Okay, I got a guy that's going to get 8 targets. He's more valuable than your 20 carry guy. And he's less likely to get injured. And it's less likely for like a 10 through 15th round wide receiver to step into a 10 to 12 target job than it is for a 10 to 15 round running back to step into a 15 plus touch job per week, as things change based on the fragility at the position. So that's the merit for not simply going 0 running back, but like looking for more value at the position as opposed to going running back heavy early. We see CGV with 3 running backs in his first 3 picks, 4 running backs in his first 4 picks for BPV with Diggs, Metcalf, Allen Robinson, and Jamar Chase, who we just spoke about the Bengals situation. Kyle Pitts going pretty much about where he goes, right? Like people, if you like Kyle Pitts, then you're all in on Kyle Pitts. If you're like me, I think Kyle Pitts is an amazing athlete. We went over this the other day with all the amazing athletes that exist at tight end. And maybe he steps right into that Julio Jones role in the offense and they just feed him 130 targets. But like, if they do, then he's going right where he should go. That would be best case scenario, and he's being drafted as best case scenario. Dillon in the 4th has been standard. I think he's got like a 48 ADP, yeah, 43 in the 3rd. He went at 43 there. Fine. I like Thielen. I don't think he's going to have the same number of touchdowns that he had before. I'll go with Godwin here. He kind of fell to me. 6 picks behind his ADP, 5.5 picks behind his ADP. Love the Tampa Bay offense. Deontay Johnson is another one who, when he finished games last year, he was amazing. T. Higgins going 410. This is the other thing I talked about the Cincinnati stacks. It's going to be impossible. If you think Higgins and Chase are the 1 and the 2, and I do think that Higgins and Chase are the 1 and the 2, it's going to be really impossible to get both of them unless you reach around on one. Pick one in the 3rd and the other in the 4th. Or get super lucky that they're both available at the 412 and 51, which basically never happens. Because one of them's going in the middle of the 4th round, and the other one's probably going in the 4th round or early 5th. So the only way to get both, and this was the same thing, I did a couple of Cowboy stacks super early, where if I had the early picks, 1, 2, or 3, I would reach early to get Amari Cooper. Obviously, I'm reaching to get both of him and CeeDee Lamb to go with Dak later. So I have a couple of teams like that from earlier drafts. I think they're in the pre-draft tournament, not in the BBM. But if you're going for unique stacks, that's a way that you're going to have to try and go after those unique stacks. God damn it. I wanted Ayuk there. This sucks. I hate you guys. You guys are the worst. All right, so I got Allen, McLaurin, and Godwin. Very easy to stack any one of those 3 with later round quarterbacks. 7th round probably for Herbert, 9th for Brady, 9th, 10th for Brady, 13th for, like I don't have to reach for a quarterback there if I don't want to reach for a quarterback there. I do want to go after Kyler Murray and kind of stay on brand here. No, I did not get Nook Hopkins. No, I do not think that matters with Kyler Murray. I think that Kyler Murray, if he extends in his 3rd year, They extend down the field with how they let him throw. They open up his role a little bit. They have added AJ Green to take over that other side of the field as long as he can stay healthy. They drafted Rondale Moore. You have another year of experience for Andy Isabella. Christian Kirk, whether you think he is absolute dust or whether you think that he's fine as a wide receiver 4, right? He's not good as a wide receiver 2, but as a wide receiver 4, I'm fine. Right? I'm okay drafting him as a wide receiver 4, especially more for on field. He's going to draw a lot of mismatches. And if they allow Kyler to throw downfield a little bit more, we could see not the same leap efficiency wise that Josh Allen took last year, because that was off the freaking charts. But you could see a leap in efficiency from him. It would not be out of the realm of possibility to expect a leap in efficiency from him. And if he does that, he could absolutely break fantasy. Absolutely break fantasy scoring based on how good he is. Him and Lamar Jackson in those mid-round QBs have the most chance to obliterate everything. Dak is still Dak and going around later, but I would not consider Dak a running quarterback. He is a mobile quarterback, but he's not a guy who could get 800 to 1,100 yards rushing the way that Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson can. And if those guys throw 26 plus touchdowns this year, it's going to be really freaking scary. Etienne going to CGV. Jacobs going to BPV. Lamar Jackson, the deadhead who we just spoke about, he said in chat that he doesn't like me because I took Kyler, so he took Lamar Jackson. 6 of one, half dozen of another, to be honest. They're both amazing. But let me guess. Yeah, he has Hopkins. I didn't take him to stop anybody from taking him. As you guys know, if you haven't watched the discussion that I had on stream, the Kyler Murray versus Josh Allen discussion, go watch that. My full thoughts over, I don't want to get into it on every video, but like I broke down all of the analytics and how I formed my thoughts on those two players going into this season. And I like what they've done in Baltimore too, adding more pieces around Lamar Jackson. They just play too slow for me. See, now we're getting into running backs. Gaskin went, Davis went, Williams goes. Deadhead's probably going to take Mark Andrews here, because we just saw him take Lamar, and then he can possibly double him up with Marquise later. Again, it's a sit and go, so you don't like stacking or overstacking is not as important. I would want to correlate my quarterback with a pass catcher, but like it's not a situation where I feel like you have to do it. Oh, look, you took Mark Andrews. Like I said, I draft and I know things. Headlock, I'm going to need you to get working on the shirts. We need a I draft and I know things shirt. Kenny Golladay, going to miss 2 to 3 weeks after, I don't want to get this wrong. I believe it was grabbed the back of his leg and walked off last year or last practice. Real Trey, thank you for the 11 months. Dak Prescott still on the board. Tyler Boyd, Shark, Edmonds. I did a big dog draft, or I'm doing a big dog draft. It's a slow draft. And I had Nook Hopkins the second, took Kyler there, and then I think I took Edmonds in the 7th round. Like he was at a value. Like I got him on the way back as like my RB2. So I have like a Cardinals super stack in the big dog building. Yeah, I know it's hammy issues. I just don't want to say something and then like, it changes. This is a problem. Like, because we're talking live on stream, but like this goes on YouTube and like 3 weeks later, it's going to change to something else. And then people see you were wrong. Streamer, you were wrong. You were wrong about the thing. You said a thing and the thing did not turn out to be right. And you were wrong. So sit there in your wrongness. Very nice pick at 69 of TJ Hawkinson. Again, a little bit of a value at ADP. I'm projecting a little bit here on Hawkinson. I think everybody's projecting a little bit here on Hawkinson based on what they have in town in Detroit. They're going to suck, so they're going to have to throw it a lot. They're going to be playing from behind. So they're not going to be in neutral situations very long, and they're going to be in positive game script situations for that passing game. And there's nobody to throw the ball to, so I'm projecting that TJ Hawkinson is going to enter that group of tight ends. And give me a second to completely flesh this out before you take it out of context. I believe that TJ Hawkinson is going to enter the level of tight end in terms of routes run per dropbacks of Waller, Kelsey, Logan Thomas. I think he has to just always be out in the route because they don't have a lot of guys who can really do things. Galladay going there to first round pick. Chase Edmonds at 7-1, about where he typically goes. As you can see, I've gone with a pass catcher heavy draft. My bell cow and chill method, whether you call it hero running back, modified zero RB. LaVisca, I really dislike Bucky. I don't like you, or Buckeye Bullet. I don't like you at all. You keep taking every player I want. Stop. Please. Stop taking all of my players. You thought Logan Thomas was Logan Thomas was previously redacted. He is no longer redacted. Michael Thomas at 7-3. I think that's early for him based on the injury. As I said, week 7. Week 7 is a big bye week. Week 7 and week 9. Logan Thomas going the 7th round. That's early. He typically goes in the 9th. Well ahead of his ADP for this draft. And here's the other thing. So like the people that are drafting against me, my community here that is drafting against me is sitting in chat listening to me talk. And if I talk about a player, I can assume that players are going to get drafters are going to get a little bit antsy. Say, oh my God, I'm not going to get my guy. Like, I'm not trying to affect ADP. I'm just kind of talking you guys through the process of the draft and kind of anything that comes up. Will Fuller there going a little bit ahead of ADP, but in the range because Fave probably does not think that he's going to be available to him on the way back. The Dolphins receivers that go in this range, they're all kind of bunched. So like Fuller goes, and then like a little bit later, the rookie goes, and then Devonta Parker is like the last one that goes of that group. Apparently the entire tight end room has COVID now. Great job, guys. Well done. Antonio Brown going to Jay Steele. Take a look at his team real quick. AJ Brown, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. Pretty strong wide receiver grouping. Curtis Samuel at 7-12. Squaz coming in here. Let's take a look at his team as he picks 2. Barkley, Eckler, Davis, Evans, Kupp. There goes Waddle. Now I can't see anything. He took Herbert. Michael Carter in the 8th. It's about where he goes. Might be a little higher. Nah, that's right about where he goes. He's moved up. He was a 9th round pick. Burrow going in 8 to BPV. Has Jamar Chase to pair him with. Thoughts on Beasley? Feel his ADP is too low for the volume he'll get? I think his ADP is low because of how much chirping he's done. That's why his ADP is lower. At least to me. And I'm not saying it's because of political views, because I'm sure somebody's going to go there and say that I think he's going lower because of his political views. I think he's going lower because people are making business decisions with their draft choices. And if you think that there's a possibility that he might retire or get COVID or get disciplined or whatever, that's going to make a player's ADP drop. So like all of his chirping, I think, is what's holding his ADP down. Saying nothing about him or his thoughts or any of that other stuff, I think that's what's holding down his ADP. And as always, I could be wrong. But Seems to me that's what it is. So we're 8 picks in on my team. Kyler Murray, Alvin Kamara, my lone running back and chill, as I've said before. Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks. I know Brandon Cooks is on a terrible team, but he's going to get a ton of volume. He just always does. Don't ignore that volume. TJ Hawkinson. I've got a lot of players at least a slight bargain on their ADP while I reached in the second round for Keenan Allen there. Marquise Brown going to first round pick with Mostert. MJ Jr. Tunyon going at 9-2. Did he also draft? No, he did not. He just picked Tunyon. Tannehill going at 9. I'll look at that team in just a second. Now, this is where I could go Mooney, but I have 5 really solid wide receivers. I'm going to take Damian Harris in the 9th round. 14 picks after his ADP. This is where going wide receiver heavy, pass catcher heavy in the first 7, 8, 9 rounds, getting that one guy to hang your hat on and then filling in with other guys later makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of dudes still on the board that you can fill in with. But when you compare them with the wide receivers that are still on the board, there's no wide receiver that's on this list, really, that looks like they're going to be a hang your hat sort of guy. There's guys that are going to get some volume. Bryan Edwards might get some volume. Shepard with an ADP of 151 might get some solid volume. Cole Beasley, who we just mentioned. Emmanuel Sanders, who's taking over the outside role there. Beasley's going to run in the slot. Diggs is going to run on the outside. Sanders is going to be on the other side. Gabe Davis is going to slide in with all those guys. Bateman coming in here. Goddard. So, like, my teams never look balanced this season through 10 rounds. I'm probably not drafting more than 2 running backs in the first 9 rounds. That's just not the route that I'm going this year. And sometimes those 2 running backs are early if value slides to me. But more often it's been like a running back in round 1 or 2, and then another running back usually between rounds 5 and 7. And then obviously this draft, I waited a little bit longer because I felt that there was plenty of things that fell. If Brady was available at my pick, I probably would have taken Brady there, but I didn't need to. But he was at least on my board. Somebody that I was thinking about taking. I have a lot of good pass catchers that I can pair, so I'm not like pigeonholed. And again, this is a sit and go draft, so stacking correlation important, but still not where I have to go quarterback 2 pass catcher, quarterback 2 pass catcher, because I don't have to beat 100,000 competitors. I just got to beat 11. I just got to have the most points. I don't have to win playoff weeks. I don't have to differentiate my lineup from other people's lineups. I just have to kind of be. So we've passed the running back dead zone. You know, like round 6 to 9, where most people aren't taking running backs. Stafford going to CGV there. He had Robert Woods. The Rams right at ADP too. Nailed it. 113, 113. Henry Ruggs should be starting outside for Las Vegas. Going to be interesting to see if he can show some growth in year 2, because he did not do well as a rookie, especially after that really encouraging first game where I kind of felt at least that they were going to get him the ball in interesting ways and in free space. Like, you looked at that next gen chart that he had of how they got him the ball in week 1, and then like they just stopped doing it. So not happy about the way that they use him. Maybe they can fix that this year. Gator Tom up. He's mad at me because I took Damian Harris last round. Apparently I sniped him. So I'm sure he's playing the meta game now of who does Al want so I can snipe Al. Damn it! It was AJ Dillon. I could go Moss here. In fact, I have to. Normally, I would go Latavius Murray in that spot, but having Alvin Kamara, and I don't like to draft running backs on the same team. I don't handcuff in best ball. I feel like that just hurts your chances. You want as many guys, as many bites at the apple, to have guys that could be the 70% guy. For the simple fact that best ball, different than your friends and family leagues, your transaction leagues, is a game of attrition, right? So you're going to lose players. We're all going to deal with injury as this season goes on. Quarterback still available, running back still available, wide receiver still available, tight end still available. Buckeye Bullet has had a team that has taken Sterling Shepard here, going well ahead of ADP. Somebody that I have a really high percentage of on my teams, because he just falls. Nobody likes him, right? I don't think anybody's happy to take him. A lot of value at his running backs too. A lot of value at his running backs. Trey Lance goes there. I was considering going Trey Lance there because I don't think they can keep him from being the starter. I really don't. I'll take another share of Tony Pollard at 11-4. I know I have a lot of Tony Pollard this year. And it feels like I'm getting asked this question a lot, both in the reply. Apparently I took the guy that Jay Steele wanted. I'm getting this a lot on Twitter and in the replies to videos anytime I talk about or draft Tony Pollard. Why do you like Pollard so much? You don't think Zeke's good? I think Zeke is fine. And I don't think that Zeke is going to carry the ball 100% of the time this season. So if Pollard gets an expanded role and instead of getting the ball 20% of the time, gets it 35 to 40% of the time, and as good as he is in the passing game, and they have been lining him up at wide receiver apparently throughout camp, and we'll find out more as the preseason rolls on, I think that he is a massive value at 11 in the 11th round, and I'm kind of clicking him where I was clicking Darrell Henderson before, because he has a role now, and if Zeke does get hurt, he steps into a massive role on what I think is one of the top offenses in the league. So that's my thinking. Same thing goes for Latavius Murray, who just went to CGV right there. I clearly was not going to take him having Alvin Kamara, but Latavius Murray is another guy that I'm clicking a lot. I think Connor doesn't earn the starting role. There was a question from Wire that said, do I think Connor doesn't earn the starting role? I don't know. I think Connor is going to get 50%, and I think that Edmonds going to get 50%, and I don't know who's going to get goal line work. It probably would be Connor, but like, who knows? I've learned over the last 2 years to not try and figure out what Cliffy's going to do, because just let him be. Seems like everybody's sniping everybody in this draft. Everybody in chat is mad at each other. Chat is going to fight. So I went Alvin Kamara, then I waited a bunch of rounds. So look, no running backs for me taken in the top 100 picks or top 99 picks. I know somebody's going to, Damian Harris went 100. So Harris, then Zach Moss, then Tony Pollard. Kamara is going to probably be, if he does not get hurt, an every week starter for me. And these other guys should be able to do enough while I can play. And again, this is best ball. It will fill in with whoever's there. Good pick here of Irv at 12. I was kind of hoping he was going to fall back to me there. He did not. And Troutman went in the 11th. Nyheim Hines, Justin Fields. I'll have enough from these wide receivers that I should get a receiver in flex more often than not. And still be able to fill in with some guys who can contribute. Smith, Henry, Ferkser, Everett, Gronk, Kmet, Hooper, still available at tight end. Pittman, Rigor. It's going to be interesting to see how far Pittman falls with the uncertainty in that Colts offense with the quarterback situation. Perriman, Traquan, Terrace, T.Y. Hilton, Edwards, Aguilar, Cobb, Singletary. See, this is, for me, this is where running back kind of just completely dries up. And that's why I want to have 4 by the 11th, 12th, 11th or 12th round, but I don't want to have 4 by the 6th round. If you look at the wide receivers, Gus Edwards, 12-5, solid pick. And he's got his 5th. The law firm of Jacoby and Myers. Rashad Perriman to Detroit, but I don't want that much exposure to the Lions. I'm going to stop the slide here. 40 picks is about enough. It's enough already. I think that Pittman is talented. I think that team is going to have to throw the ball. He may not score as many touchdowns as he would, but like, I'll take the value where it lies. And right there, the value is Pittman in the 12th. Damn it, Smith. I like seeing that, like, I'm not the one always getting sniped. I have gotten sniped a couple of times in this draft. AJ Dillon one kind of hurt. I did want AJ Dillon there. AJ Dillon is an RB3. Again, I try to draft the 40% guys as my running backs 3, 4, maybe 5, right? The guys who currently have a role and are one play away from a featured role. We've been preaching that all offseason, and not to handcuff with them, not to do any of that stuff. Sam Darnold is 13th. That's early. That's 45 picks ahead of ADP. That's too early. I don't like that somebody took my other quarterback. Screw you guys. And then I just got sniped for Madison too. Sucks. Sniped for Madison too. I love my wide receivers though. Bryan Edwards is showing out in camp. No, I do not think that Bryan Edwards is part Jerry Rice, part Randy Moss, and also with a sprinkle of Terrell Owens in there. But I think he's going to be good. For those of you who don't understand that reference, on Twitter this week, there was like this whole discussion from the beat writers like, Bryan Edwards looks like a combination of Terrell Owens and then like Randy Moss because he's going up and catching balls over everybody. It's like, okay, can we calm down? Can we take a step back and breathe? Am I doing another one after this? No, I'm going to do the one today. We're going to, we've got the giveaway for the BBM ticket on this video on YouTube. And for those of you who are here watching the live stream, we're going to give away 2 other BBM tickets at the end of the stream. So there are benefits. Those of you who watch on YouTube, I try to do the giveaways for you guys. And then clearly I'm also going to do some live giveaways for the people who watch the live show. So if you can't catch the live stream, you're at work, totally get it. Try to do everything for our YouTube community. You guys have been great for the last 4 or 5 years. And we try to take care of our live stream community as well. But as always, jump your butt into the Discord, become a part of the overall community so we can really get to know you. That's the one place that we all get to know each other because we can kind of check in, always have people to bounce things off of. AJ Green going there. AJ Green has apparently showed out so far in camp. Shocking that a player who is good is doing well in training camp. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he's fine. Terrace Marshall Jr., big body target for Carolina. Rashad Perriman. What do we have left? Quarterbacks: Jones, Watson, Wilson, Carr, Taysom, Big Ben, Goff, Wentz. Wentz ain't going. Reports from my friend Reese, who saying that Mac Jones looked really good in camp today. Jonnu Smith, Henry, Ferkser, Kmet, plenty of tight ends out there. Ebron, Ertz, Jarwin, Hurst, who's going to be on the field regardless. Really hoping that Darnold has a Tannehill-like ascent leaving Gase. There is that factor. The players who have suddenly, amazingly blossomed after getting out from the yoke that is Adam Gase's offense. But it's not like... This is like Candyman. I mention a player and then you guys draft him. Let's see something. Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson. It's like the Candyman movie that's coming up. I say a player's name 3 times, somebody's going to draft him. MVS going at 14-7. Like that. Good pick. David Johnson. I'm going to go tight end here. I'm going to go with Jonnu. Give me a second tight end. And again, another player who fell to me on ADP. I did not kind of think that that was going to be there. Watson to the Eagles rumor was fun for a hot minute. So here's the thing. Watson to the Eagles was not about this year. You can get Watson and his cap number this year is like 15 or 16 million. And then next year it's 40 million. So if you're going to try and acquire Deshaun Watson, even knowing that he may have to sit out this entire year and the PR storm that's going to come your way for acquiring a guy with the legal baggage that he has currently and how that's going to affect your PR team to have to spin this in such a way and not make it look like you're horrible human beings. If you shelve him for a year, this is the only time you're going to be able to acquire him, because clearing 40 million in cap space is different from clearing 15 million. And the Eagles did clear like 14.5 million in cap space. Like, there's a lot of signs pointing to that that's a very real possibility. If you're going to do it, you go 1 year, then you have Hurts, and maybe you off him at the end of the year, regardless of how he does, which seems kind of silly. And then you got Deshaun Watson, but like, it's a big gamble. It's like, what if maybe Hurts sucks? Right? That's in the it's in the realm of possibility that he sucks. It's also in the realm of possibility that he's above average. And if he's above average, you have a rookie scale contract quarterback that you can build around. Like, if he's good enough to win you games in that division, like, why not? A lot of trash quarterbacks still available. Not going to take a trash quarterback yet. I'm going to take a trash quarterback. I'll take one later. All right, you got me. You got me. I took 2 Lions. This sucks. Minshew to the Colts is being pushed down here in Northeast Florida. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, every backup quarterback right now is going to be rumored to go to the Colts. Nick Foles rumored to go to the Colts. Minshew to the Colts. Like, any team or any writer is going to want assets. At least Dopp will be happy with me that I drafted 2 Lions. I'll show this team to Dopp. He'll be pleased. A secretive squirrel. Derek Carr, I hate you. I hate you guys. I hate you with the intensity of 1,000 suns right now. Why did you take him? Oh, you have Ruggs. Why are you drafting Derek Carr? And early. You reached to draft him early. Gotta hate you guys. I dislike you all very much. We're not friends for 3 rounds. 3 rounds, we can be friends again. I'm not friends with you guys for like 3 rounds. Clearly not friends of mine, the way you're sniping everything. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. What was the haters ball on the Chappelle show? I don't even know you, but I hate you too. Who's left? Humphrey's having a big camp, apparently. Keelan Cole, in a fight with the rookie for the other outside job there. He's either going to be a starter or he's going to play way less. Like, Cole is way more of a gamble now than he was before, but like, I still like him as a late round pick. Zacchaeus should see the field a lot more. Lazard, not going to get full playing time just because of things. Pringle is everybody's favorite gamble late right now. It's like, what if he's like the guy? What if Mecole Hardman isn't great? And like they just put Pringle in or Robinson in, and then he's the one that takes over that Watkins role. Speaking of Sammy Watkins' role. If it helps, you meant to take Carr instead of Zach. Okay, so there are two people that were eyeing Carr there. I'm telling you guys, I know YouTube that you can't see chat. You can go watch the VOD because it'll be up with the chat coming in right where they were. Chat is mad. There's like 11 dudes just MFing each other up and down in chat for sniping. Whoever took Hooper there sucks. Oh, chat's not happy with each other. There goes Lazard. Williams was who I was going to take there. I'm not taking Goff. And I don't have anybody to pair him with here. But again, this is a sit and go. And I'm worried more about value and upside than anything else. So to me, Daniel Jones again slid too far. I have a lot of values at ADP here. And again, this is not a tournament. So stacking is nice, but not super insane. It's not the thing that I have to do. It does correlate, but it's not a must. Kind of scrolling through the different positions to let you guys see what's left while I let the draft kind of play out. Chuba Hubbard, Kendrick Bourne. Callaway right now is the only man standing at wide receiver for New Orleans. With Thomas hurt and now Smith missing time during camp. Traquan. He's like the only guy. If it stays that way for week one, he's going to get a massive market share of the targets outside. I mean, Kamara should probably lead that team in terms of market share in week one. So I got a lot of Gainwell, and I know that he's a day 3 rookie. He's undersized. I think too much weight gets put on undersized. I think people put too much faith in, well, he's small. I don't think that 195 is small for a running back. It's not 240. It's not 225. Like Najee Harris is 225. Derrick Henry is 245. But like Clinton Portis was 195. There's plenty of other running backs that like 170 is small, right? 170 is too small. 195 to 205, like 195, 200 on your pro day. It's not 225, but like you're not small. You're not like a running back who's a scat back. And we've seen 200-pound running backs do work a lot. So I'm betting on talent with Gainwell as my RB5, who has to beat like Boston Scott and the walking corpse of Kerryon Johnson to be Miles Sanders' backup, who has missed time in the past. And while he was in college, was the guy who pushed Antonio Gibson, everybody's favorite darling, out of the starting running back job. So he has a lot of talent to get it done while on the field. It'll be interesting to see. Malcolm Brown there at 17.9. Somebody else I've been clicking a lot in the 18th round as my RB5 or RB6. Again, a guy who should have a path to the field 30-40% of the time. If you believe that Salvan Ahmed is going to be the guy in the case that Gaskin can't do it or gets injured, then fine, click him instead. I think Brown is probably a better running back than Ahmed, although Ahmed's younger. I think he's younger. Albert Wilson, Bird Alert. Mr. Zacchaeus. Apparently Boston Scott's been getting a big run in camp. I take camp news with a grain of salt. Like, I mention it, but like, I pay way more attention to the preseason games, which are coming up tonight. We have the first preseason game. I pay way more attention to what happens in preseason games. And I don't mean what happens as in the results of a play. I mean, who is playing with what package? Who is running short yardage? When they're in third and short, when they're in goal line, who's the running back? Who is the tailback in that situation for the team? When they're running with the starting quarterback, who are the players that are playing the most snaps with the starting quarterback on the field? Those are the most important takeaways that you can have when it comes to preseason games. It's fun to watch the guys run. It's fun to watch them throw the ball to players. And oh, look, there's football and there's highlights and all this stuff. Taysom Hill to see GV there as his QB3. I like that gamble in the 18th round. I've been making that gamble too. They're like, what if he's just the starter? And they do fine. You disconnected and auto-picked for you, Deadhead? I'm sorry, dude. Samaje Perine. Humphreys, solid pick right now. Apparently has a good rapport with Fitz. Running out of the slot right now. Again, in camp. We'll see once the games start. Sometimes you pick the players that you want. And sometimes you pick a player for the memes. And sometimes the memes align with your podcast co-host. So I'm going to take Jared Goff for Dop. Solidarity, brother. So that's going to be our team here. 3,074 projected points. Again, take that with a grain of salt, because when you take a third QB, they always have a lot more projected points. So your team's going to end up near the top of the projections. 5 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Running back was late for me. Went with Kamara early, and then I waited and I took 4 40% guys. Damian Harris more than a 40% guy. Zach Moss, Pollard, Gainwell. Wide receiver is strong. Running backs are weak. But wide receiver is strong, very strong. Keenan Allen, McLaurin, Godwin, Gallup, Cooks, Pittman, Brian Edwards, Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson, and Jonnu Smith. To round it all out, I've got some correlation. Absolutely love Kyler Murray, with or without pass catchers for him. Wanted to get AJ Green later, but he went. Daniel Jones, no correlation with him as well, but both can do damage on the ground. Obviously, Kyler more than Daniel. I do have correlation with my third QB. This is a sit and go, not a tournament lineup, so I'm more okay with that. And I absolutely love all the value that fell to me in this draft. Most of my players coming after their selected 80 or selected after their ADP. So tons of value for me in this draft, and just the way that I like to do it with a bell cow and chill type of draft. So thank you guys for watching. Look out for a video right here. Another one over there.
He's a legend.